The National STOL Series is presented by Vlad Gardner Aviation Insurance. For all your insurance needs, aviation protected. Legend Aircraft, not your grandfather's Cub. Duke Propellers, offering a wide variety of carbon-made propellers and rotors. AirTech Coatings, let us show you how we make paint fly. USATrailersDirect.com, find your perfect trailer, we have it all. Your #1 source for trailers in the United States. Sarasota Avionics and Maintenance, the #1 aircraft avionics installer in the nation. Lift Aviation, leading innovation in aviation apparel and equipment. Rugged Radios, the official communications provider of National STOL. FlightHelmet.com, fly with safety and comfort, leave the noise behind. McFarlane Aviation Products, thousands of parts, save thousands of dollars. Flight Outfitters, for all your National STOL gear and apparel. Flying Eyes, specialized sunglasses for pilots, eye pilots. Special thanks to local community sponsors, Jeff Davis Parish Tourist Commission, Coushatta Tribe, ETR Jet Center, Avi Nation, Dispatch Aviation. And now, live from Jennings, Louisiana, here's your host, Ryan Dembrowski and Colonel Matthew Peterson. Welcome to Swamp STOL.
Welcome to Swamp STOL 2023. I'm Ryan Dembrowski.
And I'm Colonel Matthew Peterson.
The Colonel's here. We're back again. Yes. Very different from the first time. Yeah, let's high five about it. Very different from the first time I was here. It was a little hot. Now look, I'm in 3 layers. And I'm still cold, folks.
I don't mean to brag, but you notice I've got a very nice jacket here. I'm just going to give a little shout out.
You're looking good today. I'm looking a little underprepared for being a Wisconsinite. But yeah, we're here. Swamp STOL 2023, Swamp STOL Trois. So let's talk a little bit about how this works. So we talk a lot about spot landing competitions. That's something that pilots do. They have spot landing competitions. You go to your home airport, you fly a little bit, and land as close as you can to a line. People measure how far you land. You don't have to stop. You just roll through. That's cool, and that's what I do at my home airport. But this is that turned up to like 100.
Yes.
So tell you what, why don't we split it in half? I'll do the takeoff part, and then you tell me the landing part. So the takeoff part is a little easier. That's why I took it. Competitors will taxi up to that white line you see. See where the national STOL flags are. They'll taxi up to that white line, wait for the go-ahead from the line judge. The air bosses say, yep, go ahead. You'll hear a roar of throttle. It'll be very exciting.
All of it.
All of the throttle.
Of it. You're putting it to the firewall.
The pilots will then commence takeoff, and the goal is to take off as short as possible. That's why it's short, takeoff, and landing. Line judges and cameras will assess the distance from when those main wheels leave the ground, and then they'll enter the traffic pattern, coming back to do the landing.
That's right. In that traffic pattern, we decided at the safety meeting that 500 feet would be our maximum altitude. You'll see most of the pilots hanging out around 300 feet. Always with safety in mind, their left-hand pattern out of the grass strip, staying over the runway at all times so that we don't fly over the great city of Jennings, which I just can't say enough good things about. You can hear more about that later on the broadcast. Then they make their left-hand turn, and you use the words commence. I like that. They commence to taking off. Well, when they make that base to final, they'll come in and they'll commence to landing. And the goal, ladies and gentlemen, is to, 1, not scratch. If they land short of the line, it is a scratch. And you will see Lexi Duncan, our line judge, and she'll put her arms like this.
Yep, she's just getting in position right now, getting ready.
Right. So that would be a scratch, and you'll see her do that. And then the crowd's going to go, oh, and everybody will be very disappointed. That score won't count. But if they land on the line or just past it, they slam on the brakes, stop that aircraft as fast as they can. I don't think anybody here has a beta prop, so nobody's going to be reversing the thrust on their prop, but they're going to have to use just the brakes and stop as soon as they can And then the judges, the line judges, are all volunteer line judges, are going to measure that distance, and that's their second score.
And we add those together.
You add those together, that's your total score. Now of course, and Ryan and I talk about this all the time. There's a lot of mental game that goes on here, because if you scratch, your first score doesn't count. So Ryan, if you make a great takeoff and you scratch,
no go.
No go.
And here's
it doesn't
the thing.
matter.
Every pilot scratches. Even you're going to see at the unlimited class towards the end of the day, those greats, those legends of STOL. And there's legends of STOL in every class.
So we do have some highlights from yesterday. Do we want to take a look at some of that?
Let's check out some highlights from yesterday. Everyone get pumped. Stay warm. The more energized you are in the crowd, the warmer you will be. Let's roll this video.
This is the first National STOL event. I vowed I would never compete. I'm like, it's not for me. And I still say I'm not competing. I'm in the rookie class, just the most laid back class. There's no regulation on what kind of plane you have or anything else.
So the touring class, it used to be just touring airplanes, and now that we've switched around the classes, because the 170Bs would always win. So they ended up putting us in the Bush class, which it's a touring airplane, and the word has it Austin Clemens isn't coming. There's a Super 170s in his class, because he was pretty scared about the Bs.
My name is Sean Johnson, flying National STOL competition in the Bush class.
My name is Justin Tisdale. I'm flying a Zenith 750, flying in the Spark class. My dad and I would always go to events and things like that, and I would always look up and just see people flying. And for me, it was something that I dreamed of doing. It's something that he dreamed of doing. We grew up like kind of poorish, and he was a cop and couldn't really afford to do that kind of stuff. So after I got out of the military, I started looking at aviation. I was like, man, I think I could do that. Wound up completing that dream of his and mine to become a pilot. And anyone can do it. I know if I can do it, other people can do it.
You know, I'm going to be in this new class, the Bush class, so I think that's pretty awesome that they think that these bigger four-seater airplanes can compete against these planes that are 3 times the price.
Clayton Stansel's going to be in this run in the touring class.
Correct.
In Don's plane.
That's right.
But behind him is the Bush class. So these are the Citabrias, the Huskies, the Stinsons, the heavier T-carts, Swamp Monster, and then the big thing you see, we got a Piper Clipper there, but then we also have a bunch of Cessna 170s.
And that's where the fun begins. When you start getting planes that are very, very similar in design, like for example, Katie Wado's out there in a 1949 Clipper. Does she have the dogs in the plane right now?
Probably not.
Probably not. You probably left Pepper. You probably left the dogs here on the ground.
Then we've got Micah Lindstrom behind her in a Cessna 170B. Jeff Pohl also in a Cessna 170 Bravo. Sean Johnson, Cessna, you guessed it, 170 Bravo model. But behind him, Jeff Daly in a 170 Alpha. Ooh, fighting words.
That's right.
And then John Luton in an Aviat Husky will be up. Actually, the Huskies, I think, we're breaking this class in half, if I'm not mistaken. So we've got the Huskies coming up after that. So Jeff Daly and John Luton will be in the next run.
They'll be in the next class down.
That's right. Next heat.
John
Thank
Luton
you. Thank you for the language
all the
correction.
way down here from Montana. I kind of had to apologize. He has a house down
those landings a little bit, still for a total of 134. Right behind him, Luke Spohr with the best takeoff so far of the heat. Luke Spohr with 43 feet takeoff and a 2019 legend. 46-foot landing, 138-foot best run for Luke Spohr.
So a lot of folks have been wearing rubber boots out here, and I have been to many fly-ins and competed at many National STOL events where I needed my rubber shrimp boots, my white shrimp boots, but you don't fly with your white shrimp boots. And so when you saw
Justin Tisdale.
When you saw Justin Tisdale come by, he chucked his rubber boots out of the airplane, both saving him some weight, and now he's...
Let's talk about the lineup for this class. We're in the sport class now, folks. sport class for National STOL this season here at Swamp STOL is Rick Boardman in a Cub Crafters Super Sport. Christian Grewan, seen him around the block a few times, just Aircraft Super STOL. And Justin Tisdale, the man with the boots, Zenith 750 STOL. I talked to Justin last night, so he is not competing in the rookie class, but this is his first competition.
That's right.
And he had his first practice yesterday, and he walked back and he said, man, I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that in my life. He was, I don't want to say he was
It's
shaking,
something.
but he said he was like vibrating with excitement.
It's
like
something.
He was really excited, really feeling it. Justin built that Zenith. Like a year. Like took like a year to
That's
build
right.
it. And he said that his goal this year is to make every single National STOL competition, assuming he can pass it with weather.
That is a lot of flying.
That's a lot of flying and a lot of dedication for a new athlete. Here's Rick Boardman on the line. He's got that 2015 Cub Crafters Carbon Cub powered by a Titan 340, 31-inch Alaskan Bush wheels.
Coming up, very nice.
Really great for Rick Boardman there. You know, it's interesting talking to Justin yesterday. Josh yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Josh was on the mic with me yesterday. He was talking about how, for Rick, that belly pod doesn't work the way you think it does. You think it would be extra drag. It actually improves things. Something about the aerodynamics of it.
Huh.
Here's Christian now in the Super STOL.
Looking good.
That is
Textbook.
like effortless.
It was effortless.
Just totally effortless.
He just picked the tail up, got his speed up, pulled back on the stick, and just up he went. No problem.
Here's Justin Tisdale now,
Tisdale.
the Mustache Flyer.
That's right. You can look him up at Mustache Flyer. And he keeps everybody up when he makes his cross countries to come to events. He keeps everybody, in the know about what he's doing.
Powered by a Viking engine. A little different. Automotive conversion engine.
Jan was not able to make it to this one. Jan Eggenfeller, the owner of Viking Engines, and his lovely wife were not able to make it to Swamp STOL. But the Viking engines are just coming out. They'll be at Sun and Fun if you want to have a look at them.
Sport class, by the way, these are your Carbon Cubs, your Rands, your Super Legends, your Taylor Crafts, Dakota Super 18s, some Rands aircraft like the S-12, Just Aircraft Highlander, all be in this class. Basically, we've got a max gross weight up to 1320 here.
That's
so
right.
there's a weight differentiation between here and the Adventure class.
That's right.
And that weight differentiation also separates them a little bit in performance, which is why they've been grouped together that way.
Exactly. And that's how these new classes got built. So it's going to be an adjustment this year because, we're all so used to the old classes. But the new classes, it's going to be an adjustment, but then we'll get used to them, and then we'll start seeing who is able to bring out the best. We're going to talk about that belly pod some more in a minute.
Dropped it in real good.
That.
Heavy
What
on
a
the brakes.
Great drop. That is a great drop at the line.
Insane for number 94, Rick Boardman there.
Marvelous.
Rick Belly Pod Boardman.
So the belly pod actually helps the aircraft fly faster.
Yes, so my understanding is the way the aerodynamics work on it is not a drag penalty. It's actually an efficiency gain because of something about like lifting body effect or something like that. I don't know. I should go to aircraft engineering school and learn more about that.
Well, so lifting body so that the pod underneath helps create lift on the aircraft. I am curious, and I'm going to look this up.
Somebody Google it. Here's Christian Grewan. Just brakes totally locked up, stick full
nice,
back.
Christian.
Nice.
Very nice. And you see those big old shocks coming off of that Super STOL. Once again, folks, these airframes can take a lot more abuse than you're seeing them take now. Everybody says, oh, man, they're just slamming their aircraft around. No. Ladies and gentlemen, trust me, if my aircraft could survive me as a student pilot, it can survive anything. Because I came down on... Oh, look at there. We're hearing from Trevor
Otto. Family are enjoying the show from chilly Wisconsin.
Well, Trevor, I don't mind telling you, it's chilly down here, too. So, you're not missing anything down here. And it's way colder than we're used to.
A lot of fun nose art, by the way, on Rick Boardman's aircraft. And if you can see,
look at
here
Justin
comes Justin
now.
now. First
Dragging it in.
competitive landing.
So this is what we talked about with dragging it in. Is it front wheel turning backwards? It is. Now, wait a minute. Hold on. I've got a plan. What if you put a tiny electric motor in the front wheel and then you started it spinning backwards before the aircraft landed so that the kinetic energy in the front nose wheel would dig in? So we're glad to hear from Trevor Otto, folks. Trevor Otto is a competitor in the National STOL Series. He flies a Maul. And, of course, the nice thing about a Maul is it's a true four-seater. You can take your family and go to a competition and compete at the competition in the plane you travel to the competition in, which is awesome. Great to hear from you, Trevor. Great to know you're watching.
Now here's Justin.
Here comes Justin.
Justin's
like,
right,
yeah,
buddy. No, man, take it. It was a good win.
It is what it is, baby.
I talked to him yesterday, and I was like, hey, what's your plan for the season? He's like, well, you're going to see me slowly but surely dial this in. Here's Rick Boardman now on the takeoff. Whoa, right? Just over 50 feet for Rick Boardman there.
That was awesome.
Christian Grewan on the line. Corey Robin in the chat now, just joining. Huge fan. Corey, I'm a huge fan of yours. Thank you so much for saying hello.
Good to hear from Corey. And here comes the Super STOL. Lexi's got him online. Waiting for the air boss to release him. There he goes.
Definitely off sub 125.
Listen to that motor. I got to find out what kind of motor he's got in there. That thing sounds beautiful.
I want to put this in perspective, too. Like, I fly a 172. I don't think I'm ever off sub 500 feet. Like, this is like real, like, everyone's making this look really easy today.
I fly a 172 in competition and have taken off in 145 feet.
Bonkers.
What there you go. Stock. Here he comes. There he goes. See, he's getting it dialed in. That's what he was talking about. That's what he was talking about. Now, when he really gets it dialed in, you're going to see him pull back with authority. Like, he's going to know. He's going to make that decision. He's going to say, I've got enough forward airspeed. I have enough speed to get this aircraft off the ground, and he's going to pull back.
Well, Justin, I mean, like I said he was dialing it in. So he's like, I'm going to be faster, a.k.a. safer.
That's right.
And which is, speed is safety in some aircraft, right?
Sure.
So we need to dial those speeds back as he gets more and more comfortable, and I think that's great. He just wants to be earning points. So that's why he's here today, as he learns and learns and learns. So he's going to make the trip out to Outlaw in a month, and that's going to be a long trip in a plane that can't go 70 miles an hour.
It's going to take him a minute. You're going to grow long hair getting out to Arizona like that.
Here's Rick Boardman again.
Here comes Rick.
Holding it off. Nice.
High. Look at this.
Not afraid to drop it down.
This guy is not afraid to put that frame to the test. That is outstanding.
76-foot-ish, 78. I don't know. We'll see.
What an outstanding performance. That is great.
I think Chris has a 915.
He's got a 915 in there. Here he comes.
Christian Grewan, 915
in his Super
in
STOL.
that.
But what I'm saying, folks, is listen to this 915 on this Super STOL. It sounds great. It sounds smooth. The motor doesn't sound like it's struggling. This is a well-balanced motor and plane combination. They get that power out. Down he is. He's flexing those shocks. What a great job. What a great job. You can see the heat coming out from the bottom of that cowling. I just love the sound of the motor, man. It just yeah.
Okay, where's Justin now? There he is, high and to your left. And I'm going to see if I can flag down our friend from Wild West Aircraft.
So, Josh, come over here for a second.
Josh, come here for a second, Josh.
So
we got to hop you on the mic. We need you to re-explain the Rick Boardman belly pod
before
thing.
He does any of that.
No, we don't know. We don't care about what he's from and what his hat is or where. No, we don't care about any of that.
Can we get the camera turned on for a second? Because you really need to see this. Y'all really need to see this. I don't know. I happen to know for a fact that this is not Josh's safety vest. I'm just saying.
You think I borrowed it?
I do think
you don't think I'm the
it.
STOL queen?
Take a break. Here's Justin.
Here comes Justin.
Okay, good, solid
Look
landing.
at that. All 3 tires down. That
Got to
plane
get
is
on those
done
brakes.
flying.
They're locking up. He's getting it dialed in. He's getting
See?
used to it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do.
Okay, now, we brought you over here because yesterday you told me a bunch of science about Rick Boardman's belly pod, and I did not explain it well. And since you walked by, I'm going to victimize you again and have you explain.
Do you realize how long ago that was?
That was yesterday.
I know. That was
it was a long
Do you know how
time.
you learn stuff in school and then you forget it?
Totally
years
forgotten.
later? Well, that works for me in
That's
24
what happened
hours.
to me.
Yes. So on Rick's belly pod, it actually increases his cruise speed, believe it or not. Where you think it would slow it down, you think it'd make him heavier. It doesn't actually. It kind of speeds him up. So sometimes when you have air, you think that you're going to put something on an airplane that does a certain thing. The air does something opposite because there's some other factor that it affected.
Didn't harm him at all there.
That's right. That's right. So
Wow.
you notice Rick's gear is sitting right in front of that belly pod, and that belly pod might be changing the way the air goes around that gear because the gear is draggy. Maybe that belly pod is affecting the air in front of that gear, making that difference.
So maybe not lifting body, which I made up.
There is a possibility of a lifting body there. We'll give you that.
Christian Griwan off right around 100
Very
feet.
good. So, once again, no, that's a terrible. So, you're dead too, right?
Yeah, we were talking to the
We're
guy in
making
our
Tom
ear.
up.
He just said the only lifting body we have in the competition is Warren Grobelar.
Yeah, talking about you, Warren.
But
Yeah, let's turn to him and ask him how he feels about that.
But don't. Yeah.
Here's Justin off the line now. Okay,
We're bringing
so-
Tom. We're bringing Tom into the official bad dad joke.
So the
club.
short version of it with the belly pod is hashtag aerodynamics.
Aerodynamics. It's doing something with the aerodynamics on that gear, probably in front of it, affecting that gear and making that gear less draggy, sitting right in front of it. And many times with props, for example, you'll put a prop on or you put a cowling on, and you think the air is coming directly into that engine. In many cases, if you put flags inside of that engine cowl, you'll see the air go 180 degrees backwards and fly towards the prop, opposite, because of turbulence that you don't see and don't know and don't understand. And every cowling is different, every engine mount is different, every prop is different, and so you really gotta one thing. It's not a one design fits all kind of thing.
So you can tell that this guy is from the experimental world and builds.
Yeah, he
Because-
might have a hand in one of our unlimited competitors.
You can tell. We can tell, Josh, that you've got to try something and then put some telltales in there and see which way the air is actually going.
Here's Rick Boardman now coming in.
Watch him plunk it.
Oh, right on the line.
Very
Thumbs
good.
up
Lexi
from
says
the line
good.
judge.
Lexi says good. Look at that. Outstanding.
We're in what's funny to me is now, over the course of the competition, we've normalized this. That landing, no one's even blinking anymore. They're like, oh yeah, sub 75-foot landing in an airplane? It's fine.
Oh,
That's
pretty
normal.
Pretty awesome.
We've worked you up to being totally comfortable with extreme aircraft performance here at National STOL.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome for that. Here's Christian now, higher angle of attack. Hanging it on that
Got it on.
915 right against
Very
the line.
nice. Very nice. Locking them up. Excellent.
Josh, before we let you go, do you want to give us any previews? You're obviously maybe people don't know, the crew chief over at Wild West Aircraft. Anything you could preview for us? Anything we should look for in a minute?
Well, something new today that you hadn't seen yet and hadn't seen coming up quite so far is the knobby tires, little miniature tires. Now the big bush wheels and really any of the slick bush wheels or any of the slick tires just slide on the grass, particularly when it's wet. So this is a knobby setup we're going to try this time around and see if it can grab a little bit better, and our hopes are high that it'll work. Another thing that it changes is the ability of the brakes to work, because with the big bush wheels, it really taxes those brakes. This time we're running these Mark and Genio brakes that are a clutch pack, which are pretty impressive, very different than your typical brakes that you see on an airplane of this size. You'll see them more on 747s. That's kind of that style.
Now here's Justin coming in a little hot, touching down around 125-ish, maybe between 100 and 125-ish. He's got to get it stopped.
He just built that aircraft and has just started flying it cross country. It's going to take him a minute to get dialed in. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take those hours in the airplane. How many hours do you figure Steve has in Yeehaw-style aircraft?
In Yeehaw-style aircraft, oh my goodness, that's got to be, oh my God, pushing close to 10,000 hours maybe? I know that he has, in the Yeehaw 8, which is only a few months old, he has 900 landings, and he's still not comfortable with it yet.
So, folks, when you talk about, these guys, they really put the work in. That's what you've got to understand.
Well, I got to leave you for just a moment. I got to go videotape.
You got to
this,
go do some work, and
right.
we got to do some work too. Let's talk about the standings at sport class. Rick Boardman holding on to it, 114. Christian Griwan, 208. Justin Tisdale with a respectable 462 for a first-time competitor.
For a first-time competitor in a brand-new aircraft, incredibly, incredibly respectable.
Let's go back then. We were talking a little bit about day one, because every one of these events is a bit of an adventure for all the competitors and all the people who come and help put it on. Just countless people that put this event on. And so day one, I think we have a video package we can roll that shows a little bit about how day one kicked off earlier this week.
We do, and I want to bring this up. This is something that's really important to all of us in National STOL. We come from adventure flying, right? We come from backcountry playgrounds, and we found that there was an opportunity to take that to the public at an airport like this. But that doesn't mean that the adventure flying stopped, right? A bunch of our pilots got together and they said, let's go fly to a beach that's never been flown to before. Check it out, guys. Roll the tape for the pilots adventuring together.
Rick's on the line, ladies and gentlemen. So
we're moving into the sport class.
After this, we're back to the unlimited, aren't we?
Ooh.
Is that where we get to see?
Getting excited.
Just how crazy it can get. I will say this about those three Legend Cub pilots. That is amazing, amazing performance by the Legend Cub team. Great sponsor and supporter of the National STOL Series. You just can't ask for any better performance than that. That is absolutely unbelievable. So I believe Brian Steck still on top for National. There he goes, Rick. Very nice. Very nice takeoff. Followed up by Christian in his Super STOL. I'd really like to know what the maximum amount of travel is that's possible with those enormous shocks.
Really, yeah, I mean, you can drop it like it's hot, so to speak.
Listen to that 915, though. Listen to it.
Yeah,
that just sounds gorgeous.
It's got a cool sound
It really does. It's got a great exhaust note.
And compare that to the Vikings.
And now we have a Viking coming up.
Viking engine, which I think, what are they based on? Do you know what the Viking engine is built off of?
I think they're a Yamaha-based motor, but by the time Jan Eggenfeller gets done with them,
Yamaha?
They are completely different.
I'm going to look that up now.
You might want to look that up. Oh, he's on Google, folks. There he goes, getting that nose up. A little bit shorter. Constantly getting shorter. So Justin is fulfilling his promise to himself. He's getting the plane getting the plane dialed in and just getting better and better as he goes through the season.
So various, but Honda based. So Mitsubishi Mirage, Honda Fit,
darned.
taking those engines, these kind of like bulletproof engines, and just like beep boop boop boop, doing some sort of technical stuff to it. Then you're ready to go.
So,
And the camouflage was not convinced by my beep boop noises, but
I think
I was very specific. That's exactly.
I think most of what Jan is doing is incredibly complicated engineering. I don't think it's beep boop beep boop.
Well, it's engineering. To me, it's bleep bloop boop beep boop.
Yeah,
boop.
that's right.
Yeah,
Bleep,
I'm
boop,
super
boop,
smart.
boop,
Here's
boop,
Rick
boop.
Boardman. Okay.
Okay.
Wow, hanging it.
Oh
and
no.
Ran out of.
No. So you know what happened to Rick was the same thing that just happened to Luke Spohr. The wind let him down. He said he was feeling it back, and then the gust, a 4-knot difference, a 4-knot delta in wind speed is enough to kill this airplane because they are being flown right at the edge of their envelope of performance. And so if you're at the edge and you get a 4-knot change in wind speed, you're done.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
You're done. We're making a lot of sounds here towards the end.
Well,
I think we're getting tired.
You made an off-color sound, and I made a cute robot
but
noise.
I did go beep, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, and if someone's
okay.
I think the cute robot noise wins over the toots. Case of the toots over here.
So
Here's
here comes
Christian Griwan.
Christian, get that nose up,
Yeah,
Christian.
he's scratching it.
Oh man, the crowd, a moan arises from the crowd here today in Jennings, Louisiana.
Rick Boardman, I want to talk with. We never talked about how this morning went for them. Rick Boardman 114.
That's right.
Christian Griwan 208. And rookie,
and
but
Justin,
not rookie class, Justin, and
that's right.
462.
So that's a pretty broad spread, but 3 aircraft that will be stacking their points up for the year in the National STOL Series.
And this is the first event of the season, so anyone's game there for the championship right now.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Hold it off, Justin.
Oh,
okay,
no,
scratching it. That's all
Once
right.
again, the same wind that let down Justin and the same wind that let down Christian just let down Luke. I mean, Luke, Justin, Christian, all these guys you see that are scratching early, they're dragging in and scratching early. Well, that's exactly what's happening. They're getting those little gusts. By the way, I see some pilots are leaving. They've seen the scoring round. They've seen the first round of Unlimited, and they say, okay, well, I've seen enough. I got to go home and cook a gumbo in this cold weather. But I will say this, the pilots who are competing in this particular contest are just ecstatic about all of the rounds that they're getting.
Absolutely. You got to get more practice in.
As a competitor, when you have a professionally produced live TV show like this, okay, and there goes Rick. Nice.
Rick Boardman off really short.
When you're flying in front of a professionally produced TV show like this, you then get to go back on YouTube and critique yourself.
Right.
So there's tape. You know, what do they say after football? Let's go to the tape.
Dude, let's be real. When I was in college, I was in the marching band,
okay,
and we'd go back to the tape every week.
Sure.
Yeah, you got to make sure you do it right.
Here comes Christian with that 915.
On Wisconsin, by the way. All right.
So
you got the Tigers down here.
That's exactly right. So you go back and you look at the tape and you say, look, we're not lined up quite right here. And it's so valuable. And these pilots later tonight, we're all going out to dinner tonight. We'll probably, you can't throw a rock and not hit a good restaurant in this town. So we'll all go out to eat tonight and warm up, and have rumaritas. But they're going to be spending tonight looking at tape. Even Justin's going to look at that tape. He's going to say, what can I do to get off the ground faster?
I think you're right. I'd be interested to see in the season with Justin, at what point does he start to feel comfortable enough to do some of those more aggressive pullbacks, take a bite of AOA takeoffs? So
3 years ago when I showed up in Gainesville, I was having 500, 600-foot takeoffs, and you know how to do them, and the aircraft can perform in that manner. But until you've been out here with your fellow pilots in aircraft that are of your type, until I met Kenny Monger, And I'm looking at Kenny Monger, and I'm like, man, look at this guy. This guy is ripping this thing, And I said, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And, and you talk with him and have dinner with him and sit down, and here we go. Bring it in. What? Nice.
Nice. Just
Good
holding
job,
that
Rick.
tail up.
Good
a
job,
little
Rick.
smoke action.
Good job, Rick. Outstanding. Outstanding. So it's not until you meet pilots that are flying aircraft of your exact type, but they're getting twice the performance out. And you sit them down and you go, how are you doing that? And they're going to tell you. They're not holding any secrets out here. There's no secret carburetor plates like in NASCAR or anything like that.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna call you on that one. There are some secrets.
Okay, well,
There are some secrets.
There are not many, because
There's
you
a
can
few.
go. You can exactly watch what people are doing.
I meant more like technically. It's like, oh, like what's that in there? Don't tell anybody. That's my secret thing.
Yeah. Okay, but if you're a certificated aircraft, you can't have nitrous
That's
oxide.
different. That's different.
If you're
you can't. Certificated. You guys
and
are.
experimental aircraft. You will see the bottle. So I mean, it's not like anybody's sneaking nitrox out here, or or anything like that. And what's fascinating to me is, like Steve Henry sells just aircraft kits. So he's out here competing in a Highlander XL. Is that what it is? It's a Highlander XL.
Well, it's
I'll
a
have to get
Wild
Josh
West
over
aircraft.
here.
It's so heavily modified.
Yeah. But
By the
is
way,
it, though?
I think I heard it just fire up.
It did
One of
just
them.
fire up. Speak of the devil. Is it, though? I mean, is it, though? He's got leading edge slats. You or I could purchase leading edge slats. It's got a motor. They just told you this morning exactly what motor was in the aircraft. There's absolutely no reason that you couldn't build that aircraft, other than the fact that we'd both get divorced.
Here's Justin
And here comes
Tisdale.
Justin Tisdale.
Touching down
There he
around
goes.
55 feet.
There he goes. That's what we want to see. We want to see all that energy out of that airframe when it hits the ground.
Let me ask you this. Eric Farewell, one of the co-owners of this series, yesterday was on the mic with me, and we were talking about innovation in STOL flying. And I asked him about electric propulsion, because on its face, for STOL competition specifically,
Correct.
high torque,
instant power.
Instant power feels like kind of a no-brainer. We have to obviously worry about battery densities for longer range flying. And he actually said he thinks it's going to go jet-assisted, like rocket-assisted takeoffs before it goes electric. But Rick Boardman's pulling up to the line now. Tail Dragger 83, by the way. We love the Legend Cubs as well. Thank you for that. What's your take on electric aviation in STOL comps?
I think it's coming. Because if you look at electric assist on automobiles right now, they're able to put the motor generators in the flywheel. And if the motor generator, that means that you can take energy out of the gas motor and put it into the battery, or you can take energy from the battery and assist it to the motor. All right, and they're already doing this in the automotive, in racing. Okay, if you look at F1 racing,
sure.
Those are, the brakes. When you hit the brakes, it puts energy into a battery, and when you hit a straightaway, you hit the gas, and the energy comes out of the battery back into the wheels.
There we go.
There it is.
That's the smoke I was promised.
Thanks, Rick Boardman. We appreciate that. Hey, listen. We
hope he told Christian about that.
That's gonna help with the mosquitoes.
What mosquito?
That's gonna help with the little.
Now,
that is one nice part.
Look at
about it.
Steve Henry's knobby as he taxes past all of you in the crowd. Look at those knobby tires just tearing up the grass. Sorry, man.
It's just picking up the mud.
Just picking up the mud. I want to go back to Justin Tisdale for a second here. Let's talk about him. After Christian takes off, I want to talk about his runs. So here's Christian, best so far, 2:08 this morning.
It's kind of nice of them to let the smoke clear. We're going to let the smoke clear there, and then there he goes. Oh,
Justin Tisdale. I was just sneaking a hug from Anitra.
Somebody got her
Justin
stickers.
Tisdale. Every run, there's been an improvement. 658 to 462, then a little bit further back up to 564, now down to 502. He's adjusting every time.
Yes, he's dialing
Going to be one
in.
to watch this season, just from a story of a rookie rising to the challenge.
That's right. And if you think he's not going to talk with every Zenith pilot at every competition, so you see, he's going to run into pilots and pick up techniques, advice, coaching.
And proficiency.
And he's going to become more and more and more proficient with his aircraft, until the next thing you know, you're on the STOL demo team at Sun and Fun. Yeah, it happens. You got to watch that stuff. It actually happens. So, that is just one of the values of the National STOL Series and STOL competition. People are gaining and maintaining proficiency with their aircraft in low energy environments, short takeoff landings. You never know when you're going to have to put one of these down. God forbid it never happens, but if it does, watch how fast Rick Boardman can put this aircraft down.
65
yeah,
feet?
65
70
feet.
Maybe? 65, 70?
feet. So whereas and I'm not saying that STOL pilots are just, by nature better pilots. There's pilots of all sorts and creeds.
Tail dragger pilots are.
Okay, we'll go there. So, but there's pilots.
There's some people in the crowd turned and shot me evil looks.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, easy.
Don't worry, I got this, nose draggers. So, the real thing about being a STOL pilot is that when you're flying cross country and you look down on this beautiful country of ours, some people, they look down and they think, oh my goodness, what if my engine quits? Let's see how Christian comes in with this Super STOL.
Nice, it's good.
That is very nice. Very nice. So
100 foot.
Exactly. So a STOL pilot's looking at 100 feet. Okay? He's looking at a field. He's looking at not even a very big field. Okay? The STOL pilot has more options. All right? When they're flying cross country. They have more options. They don't only have more options of places to land and go get dinner and places where they can go land in a field and get cow poop on their tires, which are all super cool options, and landing on a bank of the Brazos River and dreaming up the National STOL Series, Doug Jackson. You don't just have those options. You're a safer pilot and you have more options as to what you can do with your airplane in case of an emergency.
And I wouldn't even take that further. Let's say you can consistently get down at 100 feet, like a lot of these competitors can, but let's say you only have 75 feet. You're still going to be a lot safer.
Yeah.
You crash into the trees or whatever at the end.
Oh, wow.
Wow, right on
that
the line
nice.
for Justin.
What's up,
Slow it down, Justin. Get
good
on the
job.
brakes.
Yeah, crowd, let's give it up. That was great.
That was a good
That was
one for
really
Justin.
good.
Right
That's
on
the
line.
rookie. There he is, our first starter, the rookie who didn't go into the rookie. Hope to see you next year.
Yeah.
At Swamp STOL Cat
4. I will be there.
4?
It's going to be so great. We'll see what happens in weather. I've had a really hot Swamp STOL. I've had a really cold Swamp STOL. Maybe next time it'll be Goldilocks and I'll be right in the middle.
That would just be wonderful.
We got to thank... Yeah, we'll get snow next time is what they're saying in our ears. I wanted to thank our sponsors real quick because there's a lot of people that help us make this happen. Actually, before the sponsors, let's hop in line. The volunteers. There are tons of volunteers behind us who are making all of this happen, setting up tents, setting up flags, making sure people are safe behind us, all of that. So thank you so much for the volunteers and our sponsors. Let's go through them one last time. U.S. Trailers Direct, AirTech Coatings, Legend Aircraft, Lift Aviation, Ladd Gardner Aviation Insurance, Duke Propeller, FlightHelmet.com, Rugged Radios, Sarasota Avionics, Flight Outfitters, Flying Eyes, and then for Swamp STOL, BTR, McFarland Aviation and MT Propeller, Dispatch Aviation, the Jeff Davis Parish Tourism Commission, that's a lot of syllables, and the Coshada Tribe. All these people, including the volunteers, the staff at National STOL, made this all happen, and the most important person who made this happen was you at home and you in the stands. We can't thank you enough for being here and be a part of this, especially on what turned out to be a little breezy, a little chilly day in Jennings, Louisiana.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you so much. We'll see you later. Check Matt out on the socials. He's always doing crazy stuff. Check me out on the socials. Super Arrow. Check me out. I've got an interview show on YouTube, all that stuff. You can see even more aviation nerd stuff between the two of us. We don't just only do this. We do other stuff. Hit us up. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Fly safe. We'll see you in a month.